With that, we've got two more pieces for everybody. The next is, again, a live performer who's here with us on Zoom tonight, and that's Mr. Paul Rabinowitz. He'll be performing one of his spoken word pieces called Villa Dei Misteti. This piece is from the upcoming collection of poetic prose, written in one breath, nebulous and frantic, and takes the audience inside the world of the central character, Paul. This piece feels like it's not quite happening in reality yet. It's very close to the real world. So this is Paul Rabinowitz. Let me find him on my list of people here. Paul, wave at me a little bit. There he is. Okay. Paul, you are unmuted now. So again, if you're having any video troubles, I recommend stopping your own video, and hopefully that'll clean up the video that you're watching. Also, you're able to pin Paul's screen. So if you hover over his picture, click on the three dots, go to pin video. It should make it bigger for you. And with that, I'll leave it to Paul.
You hand me a glass of wine, walk across the floor, and stand in front of a mirror, and I realize I have never seen your reflection before and thought it might be a good idea to capture this moment, learn a bit more about myself and how I got here. So I sprint down the precariously narrow stairs of your apartment, push open the door, and run out to my car, which I parked haphazardly because these days my eyesight tends to be blurred. And I don't have the focus to even check if my car is the right distance from the curb. Then I remove my old camera from the trunk. And still short of breath, with heart racing from the descent down the rickety steps or from the vision of your reflection, I blow the caked dust off the lens and recall the old postcard of an Italian village stuck haphazardly in your mirror between gold frame and glass, and the reflection of your almond eyes flashing like mezzanite marble reminded me of the winding road to Villa Dei Misteti on the outskirts of Rome I traveled on years ago to see a fresco of a Maenad. Her searching gaze deep and mysterious. Then with camera in hand and still out of breath, I ascend the narrow stairs, and something in your apartment reminds me of a scene from an old Sophia Loren movie when my television was black and white. Sophia in Rome, at the bottom of the Spanish Steps, her smoky eyes reveal something looming deep inside, like how I feel when I look at you and am reminded of that winding road I traveled on to Villa Dei Misteti when my driving skills were sharp and heart racing with excitement to see the fresco of the Maenad, and remember when Sophia turned her head and stared into the window of the empty cafe. The director captures the reflection, and I watched her narrowing eyes peering back at herself as the camera sealed the moment forever on celluloid. Intimacy that comes only when a woman looks at herself, sees truth, or a man standing behind her, holding a glass of wine haphazardly in his hand, looking not at her, but the reflection, revealing something lost, like Sophia's complex eyes on a black and white screen. And you plunge the corkscrew into the bottle of red Chianti, gifted from me, who parked haphazardly on your curb in the middle of the night in the pouring rain, to leave something at the foot of your narrow steps, not only to make you smile, but to learn more about myself and how I got there in the first place. Then you gaze into the mirror, and the end of the movie comes rushing back to me when the master director captures the moment that I had never seen before. And like Sophia, you turn your head slightly away from the lens, and with lips closed and eyes narrowing, you search the room for my empty glass, resting haphazardly at the edge of your dresser amongst scattered bracelets, hairpins, and a ring. And I look through the narrow eyepiece, hold my breath, and straighten my back. Then, with the same precision and skill I used to navigate the winding road to Villa Dei Misteri, I gesture to you with my hand exactly where your eyes should rest, to capture for the curious what surrounds me when I see you, and why I ascend the precariously narrow stairs in the first place.
The cello applause, probably the best. I think that's a pretty cool effect there.
Thank you, everyone.
Paul, thank you so much. That was fantastic. I didn't realize there was going to be a whole scene with lighting and props and acting and a costume change. Wow.
So I thank you, Adrian. Thank you so much for everything. I want to thank Arts on Site. I want to thank Kyle and Jess and Chelsea. They've sort of been supporting my art for the last year. I'm sort of new at this, so the performance end I'm new at. So this is something that they give me an opportunity to perform. And I also want to thank my new stage manager. I have a stage manager now. She's also my social isolation buddy and my wife for 31 years. So that's Megan. She's looking at in the kitchen on the other room. So she and I have had a blast during the social isolation. Sorry to say, I know the world is suffering and our hearts go out to everybody, but it actually is giving us a little bit of a break. And so that's not such a bad thing.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's really, anyway, that's another story. I do want to mention though, my book, The Clay Urn, which came out March 23rd. This is a novella. And my book launch is actually tomorrow. It was supposed to be in Millburn, New Jersey, but of course, with the coronavirus, it will be online. I think Megan is putting up my website. You can get all the information about it. It's at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And you'll hear myself and Paul Ganega, David Cruz, who's out there in the Arts on Site Zooming world, will be hosting. And the reviews are coming out that are pretty strong, so hopefully you'll have a chance to read it one day and check out the book launch. Thank you, Arts on Site, and thank you for listening to my Villa Dei Misteri.
Thank you, Paul. Can you say the title of your book one more time?
So the title of the book is The Clay Urn.
The Clay Urn.
Yeah.
Right.
And
if you could, if you have a link, you could put it in the chat here, and then other people can be linked.
So Adrian, I think Megan's doing that in the other room.
Oh, I see it. She
Oh,
just popped it up.
right.
Great.
So I'm sorry. She's not only my stage manager and costume set designer, but she's also the marketing person for our book as well. Anyway, thank you all.
Fantastic. Thank you, Paul. All right. So let's move on to the next. Actually, I want to pop in a little surprise for any of you that have been with Arts on Site or coming to Arts on Site events or using the space for a long time. When we first opened, we created a little open house of all the people that were using